Welcome to the first online module for Project TRIP, Transforming Relationships Through Intergenerational Programs. I'm Shannon Jarrett, the lead investigator of Project TRIP. You'll need about 12 minutes for this session. Our goal in offering these sessions electronically is to allow you and your activities staff and program administrators to learn about Project TRIP in small chunks at your own pace. We encourage you to start the units early in your intergenerational program planning or development so that you have time to process the information in each unit as you spend time at your site. Let me offer you an overview of this module. We will review the objectives of SIFAR, which funds Project TRIP, as well as those of Project TRIP. We'll address the value of intergenerational programs, or IGP. I'm going to present the logic model process that aligns short and long-term goals with needs and resources in your community. Finally, I'm going to recommend a learning activity at the end of the unit and offer a preview of Unit 2. Let's get started. Go ahead and read this. Hit the pause button if you need to. This is the mission of the SIFAR organization. Their focus is to equip vulnerable populations with life skills, relationships, and confidence that will increase their resilience and help them succeed as youth and eventually as adults. Note the emphasis on collaboration with Cooperative Extension. Project TRIP is working with Cooperative Extension to connect sites with other community resources. The SIFAR mission reflects values that your organizations have as well. It reflects a value for community partnerships to meet community needs. SIFAR also emphasizes incorporation of research to inform programs. Project TRIP is proud to support that component. Turning to TRIP objectives, TRIP aims to build community with research-based practices that increase and improve relationships between young and old, the participants or volunteers at your sites. We aim to enhance connections among community members, including partners outside of your organizations, which can increase the sustainability of your IGP. You'll be able to use your TRIP training and resources to improve your IGP. Project TRIP is using its findings, in turn, to develop resources that will assist other community programs like yours to build and strengthen intergenerational programs. The needs in all of our communities are great. The population of elders in the U.S. is growing, and with population changes resulting from greater longevity, lower birth rates, and greater rates of female labor force participation, there are greater levels of care for children and elders needed. Families increasingly turn to formal care, such as child care centers and adult day services, to provide care and offer intergenerational options. Most of us are dealing with a second point here. That is, community programs are charged to serve more people and provide more intensive services with less funding. That's hard to do if your organization acts like an island, which it often is forced to, because in the U.S., children's and elders programs and neighborhoods and other civic organizations segregate the generations. Generational segregation leaves age groups to base their attitudes and expectations about the other age group on what they see in the media or through limited contact. This is problematic, as it could leave elders unaware of the needs and concerns and the strengths of youth and their families. It's also a problem because it leaves young people's ideas about aging to be informed solely by portraits of elders on TV and other media sources. We face a lot of different needs. Generational segregation can prevent these needs from being met. It can also set young people up to have negative ideas about their own aging. We know that adults with more negative attitudes about getting older tend to experience poorer health and satisfaction in late life, and they live shorter lives. Obviously, we have a lot of reasons to be thinking about the value of IGP. Today's older adults have higher levels of education, better health, and greater wealth on average. This makes them valuable resources to their communities. Many elders want to maintain active, meaningful roles in their communities, and these roles take different shapes, ranging from activism to community beautification to volunteering with any number of populations, some of them at your organizations. Even frail elders in care programs can serve in some of these roles. With increasing attention to youth developmental needs and capacity, many communities also recognize the talents of our young people and realize that building and utilizing these talents contributes to greater success, which cycles back to benefit the larger community. It is a nice cycle, isn't it? This kind of strength-based approach will help ensure the strength, responsiveness, and sustainability of your IGP. Evidence suggests that a good IGP achieves benefits that good single-generation programs simply can't. And when the programs are co-located, that is, located in the same building or in neighboring buildings, you eliminate most transportation problems, reduce time staff are away from the program, and you can increase the amount of contact and vary the nature of contact, such as informal visits a child might make when a teacher wants to borrow something from the center and takes a child with her. I conducted an assessment a few years ago that revealed that programs that integrate higher levels of intergenerational programming and who share expenses, specifically staff and rent, spend less on personnel and rent than programs that don't share expenses or have low levels of intergenerational programming. How great is that? Doing good while saving money. This point is really important because we'd all like a little extra money, and because a common challenge reported by many programs is difficulty maintaining staff ratios during IGP. It can leave staff at these sites feeling like IGP has greater expenses instead of cost savings. This page lists some of the benefits we have found at Virginia Tech's Neighbors Growing Together program and other IGPs. These reflect important outcomes that those of us working with elders understand are critical to their healthy development. Providing children with regular, meaningful opportunities to interact with elders can have a lasting impact in the child's personal life if they have a more realistic idea about what to expect from old age, and they realize that there is joy and contribution and meaning to be experienced at any age and at any ability. You can search for this video at YouTube, the Neighbors Growing Together video. It's about 7 minutes long and involves Adult Day Services participants, preschool-aged children, and young adults from the Neighbors Growing Together program at Virginia Tech. Why is it important to discuss the value of IGP? We have a lot of common interests and needs. The SIFAR and TRIP mission statements will support your organization's missions with resources and tools that support healthy aging, strong kids, expert staff, and strong communities. IGP can support children's and elders' appreciation for diversity and provide them with opportunities to be agents in development and implementation of programming. Participants will exercise age and developmentally appropriate behaviors. Staff will refine programming, community development, and technical skills. We expect that families will also benefit and that the programming will be fun for all involved. Project TRIP is all about achieving positive outcomes through intergenerational relationships. You and your partner organizations can achieve unique benefits from Project TRIP resources, including activity plans, tips on incorporating technology into your programming, and evaluation strategies. We've used findings about the impact of IGP to inform our best practices so you can use them to implement evidence-based strategies, document the benefits of IGP along with any challenges you would need to address, and use your findings to advocate for your IGP. Working with Project TRIP sites, we use logic models to go through a process that varies a little bit from site to site because even for all the things we have in common between our communities, every community still has some different needs and opportunities. We've already addressed this first item regarding common needs and resources in today's communities. Assets definitely include your children, elders, their families, and the dedicated staff and other stakeholders who support them. Short-term results are those that we can connect to our intervention. That is, the intergenerational programming for youth and elders. Given our emphasis on relationships, we expect to see children build their comfort with elders. We typically see increased intergenerational contact, and we've designed Project TRIP materials so staff can build their knowledge and use of best IGP practices. Your sites may have additional short-term goals reflecting your community's needs and resources, such as increased participation in pre-K education, increased volunteering among older adults, or greater use of evidence-based practices by staff. Long-term results could be influenced by a number of things, including IGP offered at your sites. Project TRIP aims for organizations to demonstrate greater capacity within their communities, including the capacity to sustain IGP. As with short-term goals, long-term goals may vary from site to site. One site may aim to build stronger family, school, community partnerships, while another seeks to provide children with more trusting adult relationships across their childhood. To capture indicators of progress towards goals, Project TRIP has developed methods to collect information. For example, Project TRIP members may observe IGP live or using video to see how children and elders respond to the programming. We've created a checklist that staff can use to record their exercise of best practices and opportunities for improvement. Project TRIP has developed and continues to develop, in partnership with its sites, resources to support sites' goals. Project TRIP has developed and continues to develop, in partnership with its sites, resources to support sites' goals. We also have a number of resources developed by other experts in the intergenerational, child, and adult development fields. These can be found on our website, Facebook site, and Pinterest. We also have tips on how to use technology to engage your youth and elders in IGP, which is a cool feature of our SciFAR grant, as SciFAR emphasizes the need to get appropriate technology into the hands of program participants and staff. Contact us if you have difficulty finding any of our sites or are looking for additional resources. My assignment for you involves spending some time at your IGP partner's site. While you may have been there a lot or little, I want you to go back without a participant to give yourself some time to just observe. We're often so busy doing that we do not get a chance to see what's really happening around us. I suggest you visit the site during active programming instead of during rest or when participants are arriving or departing. When you arrive, a staff member should introduce you and let the participants know that you're just going to sit and watch for a while. I offer this suggestion because sometimes kids and adults will feel nervous to have someone they don't know or don't know well sitting nearby and just watching. After you've been watching for a while, join an activity so you can learn some more about the participants. Bring a notebook with you and make notes on the items listed here. While you're observing these things, you'll be thinking about your own participants as well. This needn't take more than 30 minutes. I know it's hard to find even that small amount of time, but I bet you'll appreciate and enjoy it if you can find that window of time to get away. Let's take a quick look at what's covered in the next Project TRIP module. We will share the best practices that our research and collaboration with IGPs has taught us. They reflect principles of child and elder development, person-centered care, collaboration between administrators and staff of different programs, and the physical and social environment of your IGP. I believe you'll find them really useful to your IGP development. This concludes our first model. I welcome feedback on this session and any questions.